Could I hit you up about some Metal Gears?
Yeah, let me just close the windows that have pornography on them. There's the dog.
Don't you look at? There's some shit on here. I didn't even think about the kid in the cell.
What?
Right?
How do you not think about the kid in the cell?
I don't know, because I
He's
was
got
just...
a thing in his...
Right?
He unplugs his headphones from his chest.
Is he listening to himself?
How awesome the title, number one, and number two, there's a lot in there. What was your take?
You know, the title obviously will have some sort of bearing on whatever this game ends up being. That's always the way that the Metal Gear games work. So whatever Ground Zeroes is some clever reference to something in the game. But yeah, I mean, you know, we knew this was coming, I guess, because they had the event in Japan where they showed the same trailer to the audience there. We didn't get to see that, obviously. We didn't get to see any of the footage, but PAX was the place where they actually showed the trailer. And yeah, kind of a big surprise of just how much they showed, but I guess that's kind of the way Kojima rolls. Like, it wouldn't be a Metal Gear trailer if it wasn't like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, so getting down in the nitty-gritty,
Yeah.
Kid in the Cell, Snake, Raiden.
Yeah, so here's the deal. That game is a sequel to Peace Walker, which is the PSP game that has since been included in the HD collection on the Xbox, and you can play it on the PlayStation 3 as well. And so the Kid in the Cell is Chico. Chico is a kid from Peace Walker. He's one of the Sandinistas that you run into over the course of playing that game. And the other characters that are being referenced in the English subtitle version are all characters from Peace Walker. Paz is a girl that you meet early on, and I think the other girl being referenced is one of the other Sandinistas that you meet in the game. So it's all very much clearly an indication that this is directly related to Peace Walker. But if you know the way Metal Gear games work, you know that everything isn't as it seems, so I'm guessing there's something else at work here.
Well, what's number one takeaway before I walk away from you? Is there like the one thing that you were like, oh my god, did you see, or what?
Obviously, I mean, there's some obvious grabs to take away from that. Obviously, like the Zoff stuff, the Fox backwards, and all that, and the references to Cypher, which if you know the Metal Gear lore, Cypher is a reference to Zero from Metal Gear Solid 3. So obviously he is going to play some part in this again. They're going to obviously try to establish him why he plays a bigger part, as you saw him at the end of MGS 4, and the Patriots and all that crazy stuff. But my big thing is how they're going to make this work in an open world situation. If you kind of look at what Peace Walker is, it's very segmented, but it's something that if it was put in an open world kind of environment, is something that would work very well with kind of the multiplayer element and things like that. So my question is that I could see Metal Gear working in an open world environment, but I want to see how they integrate multiplayer. Because I think multiplayer is going to play a much bigger role in this game than they're going to let on initially.
Hello, Peter.
You know about some Metal Gears, I hear.
I didn't play Peace Walker.
No, but you know about Ground Zeroes, the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I'm a little worried about how they're going to make it open world and multiplayer, but other than that, because I haven't played Peace Walker, I'm really curious about the story. Like, who is that scarred dude? You know, like, I've done some research. Is it Hot Coldman? I don't know. And there's some confusion, too, about whether, you know, it is Big Boss that they show in the trailer, but apparently some people think the image that was released might not be him. Obviously, it was mirrored, but there was things about his age that were weird, too, right? So it might be a different timeline. I don't know.
Solidus?
Could be.
Anything else that jumped out at you from the... What's just the visual quality?
Yeah. So there was obviously the Fox engine is supposed to work on, you know, current platforms and platforms moving forward. I think what they showed was they said it was on a PC comparable to PlayStation 3, but it didn't seem that way to me. Like the resolution of the specular maps on every model, the way they were reflecting, seemed too high res. So I'm curious, you know, like how that's going to work. I think that was next gen, like fidelity, but it can be scaled back to current gen.
Carol, you were Metal Gearing over here.
Yeah.
What do you got? What'd you think? Was it awesome?
I thought the trailer was really awesome. That title in itself is so evocative to me. Like, you know, and I saw a tweet from Hideo Kojima where he said, "No, the title is Ground Zeroes. There is more than one hypo center." And like, what is that? What does that mean? Like, what is a hypo center? What does he mean by that? So, I mean, my pretty strong feeling is that this is going to be like an intertwining tale of multiple, like, Snakes, multiple people that we have seen in the role of Snake. You know, Kojima's cinematic instincts are so great, because I feel like that trailer, just the way it was shot, the perspective of it, the kind of camera moving as if you're like seeing through someone's eyes, and maybe you are, and like if so, like who is it that we are in the shoes of, was just intriguing. It raises a lot of just interesting questions. I thought the use of the song "Here's to You" by Joan Baez, which is first a very political kind of revolutionary song, and also has been referenced in Metal Gear before, was really intriguing. So just really smart to me in the ways that it's establishing all these connections between other Metal Gear games and this one.
The one thing I don't know if you picked up on, when you're talking about quotes in there, there was the one where we're an army without a nation.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a huge Die Hard fan.
Yeah.
So Die Hard, I think it was like Die Hard 3, right?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Peter hasn't played MGS 4.
He hasn't finished it.
Why did we even talk to him?
The game's short. How you doing?
Overall, I thought the trailer was fantastic. I thought it struck a really nice balance between the sort of like tense geopolitical drama that we've come to expect from a Metal Gear Solid game, with that sort of wink and a nod at its own history. That moment you see Snake get up off the ground and he goes, "Kept you waiting, huh?" One of the things that intrigues me the most is this idea that the main character in the game, it's Snake, but specifically it's Naked Snake. It's Big Boss. You can tell that by a few things about him, specifically the eye patch on his right eye. So I think that if this game, Metal Gear Solid did a lot to explain the sort of like conclusion of that series, the sort of Snake and Big Boss sort of coming to terms with one another at the end of Big Boss's life. But if this game can sort of explore like the handing of the baton from one Snake to the other, my theory is that this is a game that's going to have dual protagonists, and that could be pretty cool.
What do you think about the whole perspective thing at the beginning, the changes? Do you think that you were seeing it through a significant character's eyes, or is that just the way you chose to do the trailer, or what?
I have no idea if you're actually seeing this from somebody's eyes. If you are seeing it from somebody's eyes, they're very short. It seems like that camera perspective was about 4.5 feet off the ground.
It does change.
It changes a little bit, so maybe they're on stilts and then not on stilts at the same time. But I don't think that's from somebody's perspective. I think that's just shaky cam style. So during Kojima's presentation at PAX, he kept mentioning it's open world. So I get the sense that this is going to be an open world game, and specifically he did mention that whole base that you're seeing in that demo, you could approach it from any perspective that you want, which I think is really cool. My worry is about the Drebin shop, which is a mechanic from Metal Gear Solid 4 that I really didn't like. I thought it messed up the pacing of the game, being able to just pull up a store anywhere you want, buy a weapon, have it automatically added to your arsenal on the surface. That seems like it would be really cool. But in practice, what it did was it prevented me from like exploring this world to the full extent that it really deserved, because you have the weapon, it was an effective weapon, and you just charge in and do whatever you want. I like exploring to find the different weapons that have been dropped throughout the world, because that's the sort of thing that can drastically affect your run through of that game.
Interject real awkwardly here, but how would you feel if it used Peace Walker's thing, where it basically is like you have the base, and you have guys do research into weapons, and then it takes them a while to like kind of discover them and build them for you, and then that's how you end up getting them in a mission. It is kind of cool.
Yeah, I would be fine with that. To me, the problem is just instantaneous access to a full dump of weaponry if you have enough Drebin points. That's the problem that I had. If it's something that you have to work for, then I'm into it. I understand that some people like Tom would like that because Tom McShay is a weird human being, but that's not why I play Metal Gear Solid games. Oh, sorry, did I?
I've never used Drebin. I thought it was so stupid.
Oh, okay. Good.
So,
good.
yeah,
I'm glad.
Blaming me for the ills of society.
Tom is harassing me over there. That demo was next gen.
My argument
That demo was next gen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.